We also have Emmanuel here so far, and this is the Bugzilla project meeting for April 4th of 2018. And the agenda is what I was still looking for, so if you already got it, tell me what's up.
We're kind of bad on a real agenda, but I have some real updates. And I'm going to follow the format of I'm talking to Dave, although Emmanuel is also here this time, so that's good. So I'll talk to both of you and just give you like an update, and I think that will be kind of cool. I will start off by saying that someone has been helping us. So a person named Cyber Shadow has been contributing to the Harmony branch. We have an unstable branch that is still not entirely stable, but I've been able to check it out on a new machine and get it running under PSGI. It fixes all of the PSGI problems we had before, and because of the work of Cyber Shadow, it is slowly getting it so that the Mozilla specific features that we inherit from being a re-divergence from BMO are optional, and I'm very pleased with that result so far, but we could still need more help in testing and so on. But being specific about that is difficult at the moment because we're just really trying to get it so that it runs for that particular person's use case, and the other goal there is to get it running so that the Arch Linux people can also run it. So at the moment, we're just trying to make it so those two parties can take the Harmony source code and run it, and it's relatively, works and doesn't do anything it shouldn't, which should be an easy task because, I mean, it's the same as the BMO code, and the BMO code is pretty stable, like very stable. But when you start removing features or to say temporarily, or not removing is the right word, but turning off certain features that we don't usually run without in the BMO code results in, some flakiness. But by and large, most of the tests have been passing off and on. So I'm very happy to see that. Just to make a clarification for people, because we like people contributing and what that looks like, at the moment, to stabilize things, we like to have a bug filed for like a big overarching picture, but there's so many small things that need changes that we've just been doing code review on inside pull requests and associating those with one larger bug to get things out faster. And so far, at least working with me working with Cyber Shadow, that seems to work out okay. As soon as the unstable branch stops, being unstable, I'm going to make that the master branch of Harmony, and we're going to call that a release. So that's that. The other thing is this month, I'm absolutely determined that this month we need to have another release of the stable branch with some bug fixes in that. So expect that by the middle of this month. What I need to do for that is basically redefine the release process. I need to try to make sure we have the same build artifacts that we've always produced, but little incidentals about it might be different. Things that won't be different is like we'll still have release notes and things like that. But their current process is something that's too involved for me to do, and I don't think I'll be able to get my coworker DKL to do it again in any time in the near future. So it needs to be changed and automated as much as possible. So that's boring stuff with that. Some more exciting news that actually has some interest. As of now, let me be very precise about this. We want to use Mojolicious for new Bugzilla features. In particular, I need to use Mojolicious in the very near future to add the capability of bugzilla.mozilla.org talking to auth0. And to do that, I would like to use the library that exists for Mojolicious. So I need to embed Mojolicious in Bugzilla. I talked about this last month, and it was sort of hand-wavy and hypothetical, and I had kind of got it working, like I had gotten Mojo running along next to Bugzilla. But there were caveats that I think I mentioned, like if you call Bugzilla's login stack, what happens? Well, nothing happens because in that context, there is no fake CGI object and things are weird. But as of last night, I have emulated enough of the CGI API such that you can call Bugzilla methods from inside a Mojolicious controller, and things mostly work like you would expect, at least in as far as I can call the Bugzilla login method and determine if you're logged in or not, which means I can shim this into Mojolicious and to determine if a user is logged in, and that works out pretty pretty well for my needs of doing OAuth. There's a bug for this, which I don't have memorized the number of, but we can put that in when we tweet out. We can put that in the notes for this meeting, and also we'll tweet it out when we mention that we have this meeting. But there are.
But it's listening. What is Mojolicious?
Yeah, let me explain it. So Mojolicious is a modern Perl web framework that's makes it very easy to do web stuff. The reason I want to use it is there's so many things that already exist for it, such as OAuth 2. So when I say that I need to use OAuth 2, the parts that I need to do are glue parts between Bugzilla and Mojolicious, and then the OAuth 2 details have already been taken care of by someone else, which is why it's exciting to do that. Because implementing OAuth yourself would be difficult. Yes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mojolicious is the Perl project that has the most stars on GitHub.
Yep.
So it's very popular in the open source world, and using it might incite others to contribute to the Bugzilla project.
I'm really hoping that. So here, let me lay this out for you. Even now that I've done the hard. Well, let's assume that I fixed the issues that I still have with this thing, because granted, the only thing that works right now is I can call login. I haven't tested anything else. But assuming I get those hard plumbing done, there is room for people to help, because we have 60 CGI things that total about 15,000 lines, which is about 15% of the code base that you would see in BMO or Harmony, because it's about 100,000 lines of code. And so we need all of those at some point. This is not like a right away thing, but at some point we need all of those to not exist and to be folded into a Mojolicious application. So we're not only, I hope people are excited about this, because I need help and I need people to be excited about that. But at the moment, I'm just going to be doing auth. But right after auth, I'm probably going to be working on the interbug page to use it too. It's kind of transformative, the things that it lets us do. We don't have to. We don't have to have so many hacks, and it's just going to be really good. So yeah, Mojolicious is like probably much more popular than Bugzilla by some different metrics. So using it is like really good. Of course, you can't really compare Bug Tracker to a web platform framework, but still, that was its popularity was a major driving factor to doing this. But the primary driving factor is the fact that its OAuth provider library is very complete. And I know about that too. So you heard it here first. I can Bugzilla with this change, this completely untested experimental code, can talk to Auth0 and provide identity to that platform. It doesn't yet work the other direction, but I'm kind of interested in doing both, and not just with Auth0, but like with anything that's OAuth2, that speaks OAuth2, we will be compatible with that. So that's kind of cool, I think. And that's all the updates I have. What I really want to focus on is I would like immediate help working on the Mojolicious stuff, because I think that there are corner cases that might need poking at. But in the more immediate things, working on Harmony stuff is my main project goal. And working on Harmony stuff, the goal in that at the moment is helping the volunteer contributor Cyber Shadow, because I'm sure that they have they need something done out of this. They're not just doing it because they're bored. They need stuff done. And also, I would really like to get it done and in a state where the Arch Linux people can use it. So those are the project priorities at the moment. There are, of course, other stuff going on that are unrelated to this, but those are the things that I would like to highlight and focus on. Other stuff that is going on is like there's more planning and work being done for UX stuff, but that is going on in parallel and on the topic of BMO and not necessarily blocking any of the other work on getting a Bugzilla 6.0 out that is, fancy and modern. So I have nothing else to say. Any questions, anyone? Just Dave? We need to figure out the home for BugBot. Is the other thing we need to talk about. Like, do we have that lined up a server for it to run on our BugBot instance? You're muted.
I've been working with Mike Hoy at Mozilla about trying to find hosting for that, and thought we about had a lead on stuff, but he went on vacation a couple weeks ago, and I haven't gotten him to reply to me yet since he got back from vacation to get an update on that. So
Okay.
hopefully
Worst
soon.
case, I'll throw up a VM for it. Like I can afford a little DigitalOcean VM for $5 or something.
Okay.
All right. Are there any
And
outstanding things that we promised to do that we haven't done? That's one way we could always talk about these things. Is there anything I'm missing?
Dylan?
Yes.
Any update on the code specific to bugzilla.redhat.com?
Oh no, I haven't. I have been still communicating off and on with the Red Hat people, but I haven't. We haven't worked. I haven't gotten any closer to integrating with them or talking about that. But
Okay.
that's also on my to-do list.
Okay.
But I talked to Jeff over there almost like, I guess last week it kind of was a little bit quiet, but we talk like every couple of days. It's really a really cool, close, although at this point not entirely useful collaboration. Like I won't say that. It's fun. We solve problems and stuff, but it hasn't resulted in much stuff for the upstream Bugzilla project just yet. But I'm very hopeful that it will result in that.
Okay, good.
Yep.
another little cool thing to mention is that we had a little brief history of Bugzilla thing on the roadmap page a while back on the site, and I've moved that onto the About page because that's our likely place to find it. And with the help of Asa Dotzler at Mozilla, we went through old Mozilla press releases and stuff, and there were a few things in our history that on the page that was wrong. And so that's been updated, and so there is now a history of Bugzilla on the About page on the Mozilla.org website, which is up to date and accurate as far as we can tell from old press releases and stuff. And it links to press announcements and to commit messages and everything else. So.
I did. I ran some stats today related to that question because I wanted to know if how much code in there is still from Terry, for instance. And I don't have I can't tell you the exact number, but it's less than 1%. So we've been quite busy. A huge amount of the code is still Max. I think about 20-something%. The next highest person was a bit of a surprise. I thought it would be Glob because he had many very large patches. And this is, of course, I'm looking at the Harmony repo for this, not upstream. My upstream has slightly different stats, but very similar in general. Anyway, DKL it could be considered still a huge stakeholder because he's at like 24% of the pie.
Only includes the documentation directory.
Everything, like every single source file that's still in the directory counts as a line by that author. And it was very difficult. Like people that have been around for a long time did not make this easy because you have like dozens of different email addresses that they've used. So that ended up being kind of fun. But and I was surprised. So in total number, we've got like almost 400 different, as far as I can tell, unique people that have changed files and whose changes are still around. This particular stat will exclude people who's changed files, and then those files with those lines that they've changed are no longer in the current revision. Those are gone, but it's a good number for 20 years. That's a good number of contributors. So. I don't have any other useful information, but I do, like I said, I look forward to continuing work with this. I'm very pleased. Oh, I actually, let's talk about contribution for a second, because this is actually so interesting. Because I just talked. Oh yeah, I've been working with this one person in CyberShadow, but let's talk about this in a little bit more detail, just so to make people aware. In addition to CyberShadow having come in and then doing like dozens of commits and pull requests for me to review, to fix a real problem that he actually has with the code. We have a person named Mohawk2, who's like a Perl person that has been coming in and commenting on pull requests. We have the project lead for the Zap security scanner, who also works at Mozilla, who has submitted at least 2 pull requests now to tighten up some things related to security, or to tighten up things that that scanner finds wrong with the code. And then in total, over like the last 30 days, we've actually seen 12 different people working on things. So I just thought that was really cool. So thanks everyone that's been doing stuff and then being interested in our little kind of boring project. Anyway, I just want to had a end cap that right. Let me end cap that right. What I'm saying by that is that the level of participation now is completely better than at least what I perceived 4 years ago when I started poking around at this. So I'm very hopeful about the future, and also considering that like living in a vacuum is not good, like being the only person working on something is boring. This makes me have newfound motivation, and I really think we can get a lot of good things done. And that's all I have to say. I'm kind of out of stuff to say now, which is kind of unusual.
I got nothing else either, so.
Hold me to it though. At the next meeting, rake me over the coals if there hasn't been a 5.0 whatever the next number is. At the very least, that needs to happen. We need to make sure we regularly release bug fixes for our stable branch. That is a key commitment that we should make to our users. And I will do my damnedest to do that. So I'm done.
Okay. Bye. I guess that's it for today. If you were listening to this, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month. Join us on IRC.